Hi guys, welcome to part 3 of this very long Disney Q&A. I've been giving you all the details on our last Disney trip. We took our 4-year-old and our 15-month-old and it was just the best vacation ever, and I asked you guys on my Instagram if you had any questions, and so I've been answering those in these last few Disney Q&A videos, and I hope that you've been finding it helpful. Let's just jump right in because I've been blabbing a lot. First one is how to help your toddler not be scared of rides / characters. Two things. One, it's really nice because the characters are all doing, and I talked about this in part 2, the characters are all staying distanced right now, and that actually helped a lot with my toddler, with Hugo, and not being scared of the characters. I think if the characters were coming up to him and like interacting with him up close, and I think for Theodore too, I think it would have been too much. I think it would have been overwhelming. He was so okay with them being far away. I would say I would start before your vacation, obviously, right? Like start before, and like when you're watching TV and you see Mickey Mouse, say like, oh look, there's Mickey Mouse, we're gonna see him in Disney, or you know, there's Vampirina, we're gonna see her at Disney World. And then you can start small. Like first of all, they're doing cavalcades right now where the characters just come out like little tiny mini parades. Those are a great way to like see the characters from a distance and say hi. And because the characters are doing distanced meet and greets, I found that with my kids, they didn't get as nervous. You'll know pretty quickly if your child is going to be scared of the characters. I would say if they're scared of the characters, don't push it. Don't push it. And like, this is coming from a cast member, right? Like I used to be a cast member. I was on the other side of things. Don't push it, because there's nothing worse than like, you don't want to traumatize your kid, right? Like it's supposed to be a fun, wonderful, magical experience. So you'll know pretty quickly if the characters are going to be too much. And if they are, just enjoy the cavalcades, enjoy the like distance meet and greets, like enjoy all of that stuff. Or the shows. The shows are a great way, right? Disney Junior Dance Party at Hollywood Studios was so much fun. It's a little loud, but it was so much fun, and there are characters in that, and it was just such a blast. When it comes to rides, that's going to be a little trial and error, right? We had never taken the kids to a theme park before, so they didn't really know what rides were. So we started small. We started with Peter Pan's Flight. Both the boys seemed to be fine with that. I mean, I know, like, I'm Hugo's mom. So I knew before we got into it that like, okay, Hugo, he likes adrenaline. He likes feeling that sort of like that excitement of a ride. I think he's gonna be okay. We didn't know what Theodore was gonna be like because he's only 15 months old, but Theodore seemed fine. Like he seemed sort of unbothered by the whole thing. So we were able to take Theodore into the like movies and into the like storybook rides. He did Haunted Mansion, which I was surprised. Neither of the boys were scared of Haunted Mansion, which was the one where I was like, ugh, how's this gonna go? They were both fine. You know, Hugo loved the freaking roller coasters. He loved those roller coasters. You know, like start small and then start to add on maybe some of those faster rides, like a Barnstormer or a Seven Doors Mine Train. Little Mermaid is a great one in Magic Kingdom that is slow. Finding Nemo at Epcot, nice slow ride. Like, you know, try those first before you start going for the bigger rides. Top tips for managing 2 kids with different ages. We're thinking of going back in the spring. So that's a really great question, because, and this was something that I was quite concerned about going into it, because Hugo and Theodore are 2 very different ages on 2 different schedules. But like I said in the first video, when it came to our routine and schedule and stuff, I kind of just threw that all out the window, and this was another huge reason why like going with more adults is just such a wonderful, amazing thing, because Theodore took more naps in the stroller. He also couldn't do a lot of the rides that Hugo wanted to do. Also, Hugo had more energy, like wanted to do more. And so it was just so incredibly helpful for us to go with Jeff's parents, because there was a lot of times where like, you know, one adult would stay with the stroller with Theodore, and then the others would go ride a ride. There was a time where, you know, my father-in-law and mother-in-law wanted to just chill, you know, and just stay with the stroller, and Jeff and I went with Hugo on something, you know. So like it was so great that we were able to mix and match who was going on rides, and you know, if Theodore was napping in the stroller, someone could stay with him and everyone else could go ride. Like it was just this like perfect dance of figuring out what works best for the kids. And so that's what we did. Like it was really just like a minute by minute. Like you can't plan for that type of stuff, right? You could try, but for us, I just found that like I wanted the vacation to feel like a vacation, and I didn't want to stress over like, okay, it's 8:30, like Theodore has to go down for a nap right now, and you know, oh gosh, it's 2 o'clock, it's time for us to like you know, time for Hugo to take a nap. Like, I just wanted to like let everyone enjoy themselves, and if they were tired, they went in the stroller and they would nap, and like we sort of just like, we played that all by ear. Those are my top tips for managing the different ages, is just being flexible and aware that, like, you know, one kid's gonna want to do one thing and one kid's gonna want to do another, and you know, obviously there's a lot of patience involved and a lot of compromise that needs to happen. And so that, you know, just like good teaching moments, right? Like, these are good learning moments, good teaching moments. Hugo learned a lot about patience, a lot about waiting in lines, a lot about turn taking, and like all that great stuff. What stroller do you have, and is it easy to travel with? Yes, it's heavy. It's a heavy stroller, but it was fantastic. So we have the, and I always say it wrong, it's the Baby Jogger City Mini Double All-Terrain Stroller. I think that's the name. I'll link it down below. I couldn't recommend it more. It was so fantastic. It was big and heavy, like I said, but so much room. And we also had the caddy. I got a caddy off Amazon, and I will link that down below, because when I tell you like the must-haves for having a toddler and a baby going with your kids, must-have. Stroller, must have. You absolutely need a stroller in some capacity, whether it be your own stroller, or if you want to rent a stroller, you just need a stroller with little kids. Diaper bag, some sort of bag. It doesn't need to be a specific diaper bag, backpack, whatever. You just need a bag where you can put snacks and change of clothes, diapers, all that stuff. You need it. And then I would say some sort of caddy. Some sort of caddy on your stroller, like a must-have, because it was so wonderful to just like throw, you know, our sunglasses in there, or our phone in there, or like, it just, the more room where you can put things, the better, because not only are you bringing so much stuff to the parks with kids, with little kids, but then you start accumulating so much stuff. The caddy that we had was wonderful. It was so great. So highly recommend. The diaper bag was great too. Like, it was a bit cavernous. I have the Fawn Design diaper bag. I would have appreciated a bag that like the pockets were just a little more functional. I also wanted like a bigger bag. I was feeling like I need a bigger bag, although I'm sure like a bigger bag would have just been too much. We all brought, like, Jeff brought his backpack to the parks most days. I had my diaper bag, and then my in-laws usually had a backpack with them, and that like would cover everything. It was a lot of stuff. Have you ever eaten in Germany? Love the buffet, not sure if there's vegan options. I want to say, okay, so no, I've never eaten in Germany before. And I want to say I checked and there were not any vegan options. So that was a bit of a bummer. More questions. Did you use Genie Plus? Can you make ride selections for everyone in your travel party? We did. We used Genie Plus, and I cannot say enough good things about it. Like, it sucks that to do like the whole fast pass system now, you do need to pay extra, and Genie Plus is extra, the Lightning Lane extra, but it is so worth it. And it is no surprise to me, after having been there, it is no surprise to me that Disney recently announced that they had their like second highest earning quarter in history, because I mean, so many people are using it, and it's because it is very useful. It is very useful, especially with little kids. If you're talking toddler, like, not having to wait in a 60-minute line is really great. So yes, we did use it. We used it almost every day, and you can make ride selections for everyone in your travel party. And something that we did, which is like a bit of a hack I mentioned in my last video, this isn't like breaking the rules, I don't think, because we paid for everyone in the party. But if there was a ride that we knew Hugo would love, what was great was if we bought Genie Plus, so we would make a reservation for everyone in the party. And if, you know, Jeff, and there was one, Toy Story Mania, Hugo really loved. So my father-in-law, Jeff, and Hugo went on it, and then they came off, and then Jeff and Hugo took my Magic Band and my mother-in-law's Magic Band, and were able to ride it a second time. So I don't know if that's allowed, but it's not like, you know, we paid for it. So it's not like we didn't pay for it. We paid for it. And yeah, like that was a good way of using it for a 3-year-old. Here's the last question: is do you like staying on site? What is your favorite Disney hotel to stay at Disney? And are you allowed to bring your own wine? So yes, I'm like 98% sure you're allowed to bring your own wine, your own alcohol. You can Instacart it, you could Amazon it, I think, I don't know. yes, you can bring your own wine. Did you like staying on site? What is your favorite hotel to stay at Disney? I mean, I've only ever stayed on site besides living in Florida, if that makes sense. We used to, like, we lived in Celebration for a year. So yes, love staying on site. I mean, if you want to feel like you are in that Disney bubble, in that magic bubble, then like, yes, 1000%. I love staying on site. I think just the ease of transport when you're staying on site, and you can use the buses, is like, and the monorail and the boats, and like, that's all just like, you can't beat that. It's so easy, especially with kids. And my favorite Disney hotel to stay at, I don't know, I love so many of them. We loved Coronado. It was my first time staying at Coronado Springs. The Grand Destino Tower is stunning. Like all of the refurbishments that they did, and the new building, like, absolutely beautiful. Coronado Springs, so many of you had said that, like, when I was asking prior to our trip, so many of you had said that Coronado is like a deluxe resort on a moderate budget, and it's so true. Like, it was so stunning. So I highly recommend Coronado. We love Riverside, Port Orleans Riverside. We've stayed there a few times. And then, I mean, you can't beat the deluxe resorts. I know that they're so expensive, but they're so wonderful. Like, they're so beautiful. The ones that I've stayed at, I haven't stayed at Yacht and Beach Club. I haven't stayed at Boardwalk. The one I've stayed at Grand Floridian. We love that, obviously. It's so beautiful. Polynesian, so great. Contemporary, so cute. They just refurbed some of the rooms in the tower to be like incredible theme, and you can't beat being on the monorail. Like, you just can't. You can't beat being on the monorail system, like a stone's throw away from Magic Kingdom. I've never stayed at Wilderness Lodge, but we love that resort. It's so beautiful. And so yeah, like, those are the ones I love. They're just, I mean, there's nothing like staying on property. It's so beautiful. But I do have friends who have stayed off-site and rented houses, and they like always have amazing things to say about that too. So it's really about, you know, what type of experience do you want to have, you know, like, what are you looking to get out of it. And for us, just staying on property with the kids was just like amazing. Just so great. Those are all the questions. My camera is gonna die. The battery is low. When I think back on the trip, it was just the most magical. It was so wonderful. We cannot wait to go back, and I can't wait. We just had the best time. We had the best time. It was wonderful. So if you have any other questions, if I didn't cover something, definitely leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you soon.